Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. Today we'll be talking about the camera on the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. Now the Redmi Note 14 series has been launched in India and the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G comes with a telephoto lens for the first time since the Note series was launched. Now this comes with a 50 megapixel telephoto lens. Let's see how good the camera experience is. It has a dual 50 megapixel camera and then an 8 megapixel ultra wide. You get a 20 megapixel selfie shooter. So in terms of camera hardware, it's well equipped. Let's find out how it performs in different light conditions. So before that, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So let's first have a look at the camera hardware. Now the primary camera is a 50 megapixel OmniVision OV50E light 100-800 sensor with hyper optical image stabilization. Now it has f1.6 aperture. Now the secondary camera is a 50 megapixel telephoto which can do 2.5x zoom and you can go up to 30x digital zoom. Now the third camera is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now the selfie camera is 20 megapixel shooter. So let's find out how good the camera experience is. So first let's have a look at the daylight captures taken with the primary camera. Now if you look at the daylight captures, you can see here there is good amount of details. The colors are nice and bright. The dynamic range also looks good. And the color reproduction is something which is pretty good. The sky colors are rendered pretty well. And if you zoom into the picture, you can also see that the 50 megapixel offer pretty good details and sharpness levels too. So saturation levels are very well done and color quality is something which is pretty good here. You don't see oversaturated or over brightened or vivid colors here. They're pretty much natural looking and does a quite good job. Overall the sharpness levels and details even in indoor shots looks good. So the primary 50 megapixel camera does a quite good job here. I would say it is definitely well optimized and we don't see any major issues here. Overall the quality definitely looks good. Even the dynamic range also looks great in terms of experience. So that's the primary camera. Now let's go to the telephoto lens and you can see the 2.5x zoom also looks good. There is adequate details, the dynamic range looks good and the colors are once again very much consistent and very similar to the primary camera. That's something which is pretty good and pretty well done by Xiaomi. Now moving on to the 8 megapixel ultra wide. Now this is where things are not so great. It's kind of very average shooter. Although the colors are retained well, the sharpness levels and details are not that good. Obviously it's an 8 megapixel shooter and it has its own limitations. You can also see that the dynamic range isn't that impressive. So overall I would say the ultra wide angle camera is quite an average one. Now moving on to the close-up shots, once again you can see that the primary shooter does a quite good job. The details are good, colors are nice, the sharpness levels are also maintained pretty good. So overall I would say the close-up shots also came out pretty good. You can also go slightly more closer with the ultra-wide angle camera. Now next let's move on to the portraits. Now you can see that the portraits are done really well here. You can see that skin tones are good. The t-shirt color also looks good. The background blur is also really good. You can control that. The edge detection is also pretty done well. One thing what you notice is that when there is a really bright sunlight, there is a slight reddish hue to the skin tones, but not a major concern. But overall I would say even in indoor conditions the portraits turned out to be good and the edge detection and the overall quality of the portraits is definitely good from the telephoto lens, a 50 megapixel shooter. Now moving on to the low light experience. In indoor lighting conditions you can see that the dynamic range, the sharpness levels and the quality definitely looks impressive. One good thing is that the noise levels have been controlled by Xiaomi and you can clearly see that there is good sharpness levels and details even in extreme low light when you turn on the night mode. And overall I would say Xiaomi has done a pretty good job here in terms of low light condition. And even if you zoom into the low light condition you can see that good amount of sharpness levels is offered. So that was the low light conditions from the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. The 50 megapixel shooter does a quite good job overall. Let's move on to the selfies. The 20 megapixel shooter does a good job once again. The dynamic range is good, but one thing what you notice is in outdoor condition there is a reddish hue added to the skin tones, which could have been slightly better. In indoor conditions it is slightly better, but outdoor you can clearly see that there is a reddish hue to the skin tones. But overall, I would say the selfies turned out to be impressive compared to the previous version, and the edge detection in portrait selfies also turned out to be pretty good. So what do you guys think about the selfies? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Now moving on to the video recording, it can record maximum at 4K 30 FPS. That's definitely disappointing because 4K 60 FPS should have been there in this price segment. Nevertheless, the 4K 30 FPS footage looks good. The stabilization is done well. The colors and the details are pretty good. Now 1080p 60 FPS is supported on this device. Once again, you can see the stabilization is done well because there is optically made stabilization, and overall the quality definitely looks good. The colors, dynamic range and sharpness levels are also quite good on the video recording. Now you can also do 1080p 30 fps. Once again, very similar. The color quality is good, the sharpness levels and overall quality with the 1080p 30 fps also looks good, and there isn't anything to complain here. Now the ultra wide angle camera has stabilization, but once again it's kind of decent experience. I would say 1080p is the maximum available. Again, a decent quality video recording. So this is the front-facing camera sample taken with the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. It can record videos in maximum of 1080p at 60 fps. So this is the 1080p 60 fps video footage taken with this device. So do let us know what you guys think about this camera. So that is the detailed camera review of the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. So summing up, the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G will not disappoint you in terms of camera experience. We are pretty much happy with whatever the camera has to offer. One thing what was kind of disappointing is that there is no 4K 60 FPS, which should have been there in this price segment, and a bit more fine tuning would make this camera pretty good. But overall, as a product, the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G is definitely an upgrade, especially with the telephoto lens included for portraits. So what do you guys think about the cameras on the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.